The vision for Queen's Park in Glasgow's south side to be a pollinator park was one dedicated to the conservation and development of a pollinator habitat for current and future generations. Projects and intervention within the park will promote both the awareness and understanding of the role of pollinators in achieving local and global environmental sustainability, and showcase pollinator projects that are a model for citizens and communities in Glasgow and beyond. In 2018, Glasgow City Council planted 40,000 daffodil bulbs in Queen's Park, adding to the tens of thousands already present in the ground. These bulbs will continue to flower annually for many years, with the growing area around them creating a welcome habitat for invertebrates and small mammals. Approximately 1,200 square metres of wildflower area, about the size of 5 tennis courts, was created in April 2021, using a partnership of Parks Development Officers and Glasgow City Council Neighbourhoods Regeneration and Sustainability Operations. The area was sown with wildflower seed, creating a pollen source and a vibrant flower display for years to come. The Friends of Queen's Park and a local councillor assisted with the seed sowing. This, of course, following on from planting spring flowering bulbs in the park over autumn 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic emphasised the importance of our parks and open spaces and the key role such locations play in maintaining both our physical and mental well-being. By reimagining and creating a focal point for Queen's Park, we're trying to encourage local residents to spend more time outdoors. The opportunity to provide people with a place to walk, cycle, play, or simply sit and enjoy the experience of nature buzzing around them in the heart of the city cannot be underestimated. The following is the rationale for designating Queen's Park as a pollinator park, in support of not only the variety of butterflies and other invertebrate species found there, but also to provide the local community with the knowledge that this is a special place. When we looked closely at Queen's Park and its unique topography, we saw that it already had a series of landscapes and habitats, with Camp Hill clothed in woodland, that continued to the west side of the park and its boundary with Pollokshaws Road and Langside Avenue. However, it was to the south and the east of the park that opportunities opened up for subtle and more significant changes and enhancements, diversifying and increasing pollinator habitats and developing flower-rich meadows. The Friends of Queen's Park have already contributed time and effort by assisting with the creation of perennial wildflower areas in the park, and now, more than 12 months later, we can see the natural side of the park and the more recently introduced wildflower expanses beginning to mature. Queen's Park offers a template for how subtle changes can bring about major benefits, both for people and wildlife in the city's parks and larger open spaces. Surveys carried out by Glasgow City Council biodiversity officers highlighted areas within Queen's Park where a change in cutting regimes and enhanced planting would contribute positively to the local environment and the overall ambitions of the city. Such a proposal also provides an opportunity to extend the season of interest and ensure that there are food sources for early season pollinators via the mass planting and seed sowing of wildflowers, daffodils and other spring bulbs, in partnership with the local community. We see these mass plantings as the spring herald to a summer of colourful meadows. As one season's colours fade for another year, the next come into bloom. Engagement with the collaborative activities organised by the Friends of Queen's Park, community councils, volunteer groups, as well as local and national environmental groups participating in biodiversity enhancements would, in the first instance, be explored. At a time when Glasgow has declared both climate and ecological emergencies, it was essential that as officers and citizens, we reviewed our green spaces to see how they could bring resilience and vibrancy to an urban location, how they could mitigate climate change issues, reverse the biodiversity decline, and help the city cope with ever-changing weather patterns and unprecedented rainfall. Parks are living landscapes, and there's an opportunity to manage them sympathetically for both people and wildlife, and in doing so, create a seasonally dynamic and ever-changing visitor experience, where every single outing can shed new light on nature. These changes further illustrate how parks and open spaces can support and bring to an urban situation the resilience and vibrancy much needed to support people and wildlife and mitigate against the noted climate change. And how a city like Glasgow can manage the resulting changes in weather patterns of unprecedented rainfall. This also aligns with the Scottish Government's Pollinator strategy for Scotland 2017 through 2027, which sets out how Scotland can continue to be a place where pollinators thrive, along with actions that are needed to help achieve that objective. Some of the most significant changes that the park user sees and experiences are based around these grassed areas. Once the floral diversity was identified, positive changes were instigated. It was at this point that a new grass maintenance plan was put into place on certain areas to ascertain how truly rich they were. It's only when you allow the wildflowers growing amongst the mown grass to flower by simply not mowing it that you can appreciate the numbers of butterflies, bees, and other pollinator species that the park is home to. It is these developments, the instigated maintenance changes and natural features that have and continue to support the adopted local biodiversity action plan and the Pollinator plan.